Have you ever dreamed of speaking English fluently, but felt unsure of where to start? Maybe you've thought, it's too hard, or I don't have the time. Well, let me tell you something. Learning English doesn't have to be difficult or boring. With the right tips, you can start speaking English today in a simple, fun, and natural way. In this video, I'm going to share some easy and practical tips to help beginners just like you. You'll learn how to build your vocabulary, practice your listening skills, and gain confidence in speaking. These are methods that work for everyone, no matter your age or background. By the end of this video, you'll feel ready to take the first steps toward mastering English. And trust me, these steps are small, but they're powerful. I understand how it feels to start learning a new language. It can be scary at first. You might be afraid of making mistakes or think you need to know everything before you even try. But here's the truth. Everyone makes mistakes when they're learning. That's normal. Mistakes are part of the process. What really matters is that you start, even if it's with just one word or one sentence. Let me share a little story. When I started learning a second language, I felt so overwhelmed. I didn't know where to begin. But then, I found a way to make it fun. I listened to songs, watched movies, and practiced a few minutes every day. Slowly, I realized that learning a language isn't about being perfect. It's about making progress. And that's what this video is all about. I'll guide you through the steps I took to learn, so you can feel confident starting your journey. Whether you want to travel, meet new people, or just understand your favorite songs and movies, these tips will give you the tools to get started. Are you ready? Let's dive into the first step, starting with the basics. You don't need a big vocabulary or perfect grammar to begin. You just need a little curiosity and a willingness to try. Let me show you how simple it can be. When learning English, one of the most important things to remember is this. You don't have to know everything to start. The key is to focus on the basics, simple words and phrases that you can use every day. This will help you feel more comfortable and build confidence as you go. Let's begin with some essential words. These are the building blocks of any language. For example, start with greetings like hello, good morning, good evening. Then move to simple questions that you can use in conversations, like, how are you? What's your name? Where are you from? By learning just a few phrases like these, you're already prepared to greet someone and have a basic conversation. Doesn't that sound exciting? Imagine walking into a cafe and saying, "Hi, can I have a coffee, please?" That's already progress. Another important tip is to focus on common verbs and nouns. These words help you talk about everyday activities and objects. For example, verbs: eat, drink, go, read, sleep. Like nouns: book, water, house, car, friend. You can even start combining them into simple sentences, like, I like coffee. She reads a book. We go to the park. It's easy, right? By practicing these basic structures, you'll see how quickly you can put together sentences that make sense. Now, here's something fun you can try. Label objects around your house in English. For example, write door on a piece of paper and stick it on the door. Write table and place it on your table. This way, you're constantly seeing and repeating these words, and they'll stick in your mind without much effort. Another great way to start with the basics is by focusing on numbers, days, and colors. These are things we use all the time, so they're essential to learn early. For example, numbers: 1, 2, 3. Days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Colors: red, blue, yellow. Try saying these words out loud every day. You could practice while brushing your teeth, walking to work, or even while cooking. The more you repeat them, the more natural they'll feel. But learning isn't just about memorizing words. It's also about practicing them in real life. For example, when you meet a friend or family member who knows English, try saying a greeting like, "Hi, how are you?" Even if you feel shy at first, it's important to take that step. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Here's something to keep in mind. You don't have to be perfect to start speaking. Even if your grammar isn't perfect or your pronunciation isn't 100% correct, that's okay. The goal is to communicate, not to be perfect. And trust me, people will appreciate your effort. They'll see that you're trying, and that's what really matters. If you feel unsure about speaking to others, you can always practice on your own. Try talking to yourself in English. For example, describe what you're doing. "I'm making breakfast. I like eggs and coffee." This might feel a little silly at first, but it's a great way to build confidence and get used to thinking in English. Remember, starting with the basics isn't just about learning new words, it's about creating a foundation for everything else you'll learn. Think of it like building a house. You need a strong base before you can add the walls, windows, and roof. These simple words and phrases are your foundation. Once you've mastered them, you'll be ready to move on to more complex ideas. Now that we've covered how to start with the basics, let's talk about something that makes learning English even more fun: using music and TV shows to improve your skills. This is where learning becomes not just useful, but truly enjoyable. Learning English doesn't have to feel like homework. In fact, one of the best ways to learn is by doing something you already enjoy, like listening to music or watching TV shows. These tools are not only fun, but also incredibly effective for improving your listening skills, pronunciation, and even vocabulary. Let's start with music. Have you ever listened to a song and found yourself humming the words without even realizing it? That's the magic of music. It helps you remember things naturally. Choose songs that are simple and have clear lyrics. For example, songs by artists like the Beatles or Ed Sheeran are great for beginners because the words are easy to understand and repeat. Here's how you can use music to learn English. Listen to the song. First, just enjoy the music and get a feel for the rhythm and melody. Read the lyrics. Look up the lyrics online and read them while listening to the song again. This will help you connect the sounds with the words. Sing along. Try singing along, even if you don't get all the words right at first. This is a fun way to practice pronunciation. Learn new words. Highlight words or phrases you don't know and look them up. Write them down and try to use them in your daily conversations. For example, if you listen to "Imagine" by John Lennon, you'll learn simple yet powerful phrases like, "Imagine all the people living life in peace." These lyrics are easy to understand and meaningful, making them perfect for beginners. Now, let's talk about TV shows and movies. Watching something in English is like immersing yourself in the language without needing to leave your home. But here's the trick. Start with shows or movies that are easy to follow. Sitcoms like Friends or cartoons like Peppa Pig are great choices because the language is simple and the stories are easy to understand. Here's how to make the most of TV shows and movies. Use subtitles. At first, watch with subtitles in your native language. This helps you understand the story. Switch to English subtitles. Once you're more comfortable, switch the subtitles to English. This way, you'll start connecting spoken words to their written form. Pause and repeat. If you hear a phrase you like or don't understand, pause and repeat it. Try saying it out loud to practice your pronunciation. Copy the characters. Mimic the way characters speak. This helps you learn natural expressions and intonation. For example, imagine watching an episode of Friends. In one scene, Rachel says, "How you doin'?" You can practice saying this phrase with the same tone and confidence. This way, you're not just learning words, you're learning how to sound natural. Another tip is to choose shows or movies that match your interests. If you love cooking, watch cooking shows in English. If you enjoy action, watch superhero movies. When you're interested in the content, learning becomes more enjoyable and less of a chore. Music and TV also help you get used to the rhythm of the language. English has a unique flow, with certain words emphasized in a sentence. By listening to native speakers, you'll naturally start to pick up on this rhythm and improve your speaking skills without even realizing it. And don't forget, these tools are also great for exposing you to real-life conversations. You'll hear how people actually talk, including common slang and casual phrases. For example, instead of saying, "I am going to," you'll hear people say, "I'm gonna." This helps you sound more natural when speaking. To make the most of music and TV, try setting aside 20 to 30 minutes a day to enjoy them in English. You could listen to a song while commuting, watch an episode of a show before bed, or even sing while cleaning the house. The more time you spend surrounded by the language, the faster you'll learn. Now that we've explored how music and TV can make learning English enjoyable, let's move on to something just as important: practicing every day. Even just a few minutes a day can make a huge difference in your progress. Learning English is like learning any new skill. It requires consistency. You don't have to spend hours every day studying. Even a few minutes of practice can make a big difference. The key is to make learning a habit, something you do regularly, like brushing your teeth or drinking water. Let's start with this simple truth: small steps lead to big progress. Imagine learning one new word every day. By the end of the week, you'll know 7 new words. By the end of the month, that's 30 words. Over a year, you'll have added hundreds of words to your vocabulary, all by taking just a few minutes daily. But how do you make practice a part of your routine? Here are some easy ideas. Start your day with English. When you wake up, try saying simple sentences to yourself in English. For example, "Good morning. Today I'm going to work. I feel happy." This helps you think in English right from the start of your day. Use flashcards. Write down new words or phrases on small cards. Review them during breaks, on the bus, or while waiting in line. You can even use apps like Anki or Quizlet to create digital flashcards. Write a daily journal. Keep a notebook where you write a few sentences in English every day. For example, today I had coffee with my friend. We talked about work. Don't worry about perfect grammar. Just focus on expressing yourself. Talk to yourself. This might feel silly at first, but it's a powerful tool. For example, if you're cooking, say out loud, "I'm making pasta. I need water and salt." This gets you used to forming sentences naturally. Consistency doesn't mean you have to follow a strict schedule. The idea is to practice whenever you can, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes. The more often you interact with the language, the more familiar it becomes. Another great way to practice daily is by turning your environment into a mini English classroom. For example, switch your phone's language to English. At first, it might seem confusing, but you'll quickly learn common words like settings, messages, and call. You can also stick notes on objects in your house, like labeling the fridge as fridge or the mirror as mirror. If you have a bit more time, try reading short English texts, like children's books or news articles for beginners. Reading not only improves your vocabulary, but also helps you understand how sentences are structured. And if you're not sure how to pronounce a word, you can use tools like Google Translate to hear it spoken aloud. The secret to making practice enjoyable is to connect it to your interests. Do you love cooking? Look up recipes in English and try following them. Are you a sports fan? Read about your favorite team in English. By combining your hobbies with learning, you'll stay motivated and excited. Now, let's talk about overcoming the biggest challenge many beginners face: Fear. Some people are afraid to practice because they don't want to make mistakes. But here's the truth. Mistakes are part of learning. When a baby learns to walk, they fall many times. But each fall teaches them how to get better. The same is true for learning English. Every mistake you make is a step toward improvement. To build confidence, start by practicing with people you trust, like a friend or family member. You can also join online communities where other learners are practicing too. Apps like HelloTalk or language exchange groups are great places to find supportive partners. Remember, learning English is a journey, not a race. It's okay to move at your own pace. The important thing is to show up every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Over time, these small efforts will add up to big results. Now that you've learned how daily practice can transform your learning, let's explore another important topic: how to overcome the fear of making mistakes and why it's essential for growth. Let's be honest. One of the biggest challenges when learning English, or any new language, is the fear of making mistakes. Maybe you're worried that people will laugh, or that you'll say something wrong. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. But here's the good news. Making mistakes is not a sign of failure. It's actually one of the best ways to learn. Think about it. When you make a mistake, it shows you what you don't know yet. It's like a guide that helps you focus on what to improve. Instead of being afraid of mistakes, try to see them as opportunities to grow. Here's a little story to inspire you. I once met a friend who was learning English. At first, they were so scared to speak because they thought their accent was bad. But one day, they decided to try. They walked up to someone and said, "I like your shoes." The other person smiled and said, "Thank you." It wasn't perfect English, but it worked. That small success gave my friend the confidence to keep going. So, how can you overcome the fear of mistakes? Start by practicing in a safe and comfortable environment. Talk to yourself in the mirror, record your voice, or practice with a close friend or family member who won't judge you. The more you practice in private, the more confident you'll feel in public. Another great way to build confidence is by joining online communities where other people are also learning English. Apps like HelloTalk or websites like Meetup have language exchange groups where learners support each other. You'll see that everyone makes mistakes, and it's completely normal. In fact, native speakers often find it impressive when someone is learning their language. They understand how much effort it takes. If you ever feel embarrassed after making a mistake, remind yourself of this. Even native speakers make mistakes. They forget words, mix up grammar, or say things they didn't mean. It happens to everyone. The important thing is to focus on communication. Did the other person understand you? If the answer is yes, then your English is already working. Here's a tip that can make speaking less stressful. Prepare for common situations. For example, if you're going to a coffee shop, practice ordering your drink in English beforehand. Say to yourself, "Hi, can I have a latte, please?" When you're ready, try saying it at the actual coffee shop. Even if you're nervous, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Another idea is to start small. Instead of trying to have a full conversation, begin with one sentence. For example, if someone asks, "How are you?" just reply with, "I'm good, thank you." As you build confidence, you can start adding more details, like, "I'm good, thank you. How about you?" Mistakes are not your enemy, they're your teacher. Each time you say something incorrectly, you're one step closer to saying it right. Don't let the fear of mistakes hold you back from practicing. Remember, progress comes from trying, not from being perfect. Now that we've tackled the fear of making mistakes, let's move on to the tools and communities that can help you on your learning journey. These resources will make practicing English even more fun and effective. Learning English becomes much easier when you have the right tools and a supportive community. In this chapter, we'll explore some amazing resources that you can use to practice every day, connect with other learners, and make your journey more fun. Let's start with language learning apps. These apps are like having a personal teacher in your pocket. They're designed to help you practice vocabulary, grammar, and even pronunciation in a simple and interactive way. Here are a few you can try. Duolingo, perfect for beginners, with fun and short lessons to build your vocabulary and basic grammar. Hello Talk, a language exchange app where you can chat with native speakers who are also learning your language. It's a great way to practice real conversations. Memrise focuses on teaching you phrases and words that you'll actually use in everyday life. These apps are easy to use and allow you to practice at your own pace, even if you only have 5 minutes a day. Another powerful tool is online resources for listening and reading. Websites like BBC Learning English or Simple English News provide articles, videos, and podcasts designed for English learners. You can listen to real-life topics while improving your understanding of spoken English. If you love reading, try short stories or ebooks written for beginners. They often include simple vocabulary and helpful explanations. Now, let's talk about the importance of joining a community of learners. Learning English on your own is great, but connecting with others can make a huge difference. When you practice with others, you'll get feedback, encouragement, and even new ideas for improving your skills. One way to join a community is through social media groups. On platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or Reddit, there are countless groups for English learners. These communities often share tips, exercises, and opportunities to practice speaking or writing. You can ask questions, post about your progress, and even make friends with people from around the world. Another option is to find a language exchange partner. This is someone who wants to learn your language while helping you learn English. For example, you could teach them Portuguese while they help you with English. Many people use apps like Tandem or HelloTalk to find language exchange partners. It's a fun way to practice while learning about different cultures. If you prefer speaking with people in real time, look for online conversation clubs. Websites like Meetup or Italki host virtual meetings where learners can practice speaking English with others in a relaxed and friendly setting. Some of these clubs are free, while others might charge a small fee. Either way, it's an excellent way to improve your speaking skills and gain confidence. Don't forget about YouTube. There are countless channels dedicated to teaching English. Many of these channels offer lessons on pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. Some even create videos about everyday conversations, like ordering food or asking for directions. You can pause, rewind, and repeat the videos as many times as you need. Now, here's a tip for using all these tools. Make a schedule. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by all the resources available, so choose just one or two to focus on at a time. For example, you could spend 10 minutes on Duolingo in the morning and 20 minutes reading an article from BBC Learning English in the evening. This helps you stay consistent without feeling stressed. When you combine tools and communities, learning English becomes more engaging and effective. You're not just memorizing words, you're using them in real-life situations and building connections with others. Now that you have the resources to practice, let's talk about how to tie everything together. In the next chapter, we'll review what you've learned and discuss how to stay motivated as you continue your journey. Congratulations! You've made it this far, and that shows your commitment to learning English. By now, you've learned how to start with the basics, make learning fun with music and TV, practice daily, overcome the fear of mistakes, and use tools and communities to support your journey. Let's take a moment to review what we've covered and talk about how to stay motivated as you continue to grow. First, remember that learning English is not a sprint. It's a journey. It's okay if progress feels slow at times. Every word you learn, every sentence you practice, and every mistake you make is a step forward. Think of learning English as planting a tree. You water it every day, and over time, it grows stronger and taller. With patience and consistent effort, your skills will blossom too. Let's go over the key points one more time. Start with the basics. Focus on simple words and phrases, like greetings, numbers, and everyday vocabulary. These are your foundation, and they'll give you confidence to build more skills. Use music and TV. Turn learning into something you love. Sing along to songs, watch shows with subtitles, and mimic how native speakers talk. Practice daily. Even a few minutes a day can make a huge difference. Talk to yourself, write in a journal, or use flashcards to keep your skills sharp. Don't fear mistakes. Remember, mistakes are your best teacher. Celebrate your effort instead of worrying about perfection. Leverage tools and communities. Use apps like Duolingo or HelloTalk and connect with others who are also learning. You're never alone in this journey. Now, let's talk about staying motivated. It's natural to feel discouraged sometimes, especially when learning something new. But here's a tip. Focus on your why. Why do you want to learn English? Maybe it's to travel, get a better job, or talk to new people. Keep that goal in mind and let it guide you. Whenever you feel stuck, remind yourself of how far you've already come. Think about the first English word you learned. Back then, it probably felt unfamiliar. Now look at you. You've learned so much since then, and you're capable of learning even more. Celebrate these small victories. They matter. Another way to stay positive is to set realistic goals. For example, instead of saying, "I want to be fluent in 6 months," set smaller goals like, "I'll learn 10 new words this week," or "I'll practice speaking for 15 minutes every day." These smaller goals are easier to achieve and will keep you motivated. Here's another idea. Reward yourself. When you hit a milestone, like finishing a language app level or having your first conversation in English, treat yourself to something you enjoy. Maybe it's a favorite meal, a movie night, or even just a moment to relax and reflect on your success. Also, surround yourself with positivity. Follow motivational accounts on social media, watch inspiring videos about language learners, and talk to people who encourage you. If you have friends or family members who speak English, ask for their support. They'll be happy to see you trying and may even help you practice. Finally, be kind to yourself. Learning a language is challenging, but it's also one of the most rewarding things you can do. There will be days when it feels hard, and that's okay. Take a break if you need to, but don't give up. Every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Before we finish, here's a quick exercise. Close your eyes and imagine yourself 6 months from now. Picture yourself speaking English with confidence, understanding songs and movies without subtitles, and feeling proud of what you've accomplished. That future is possible, and it starts with the steps you're taking today. Now, as we wrap up, I have a small challenge for you. Choose one tip from this video and start using it today. Maybe it's practicing a simple phrase, downloading an app, or watching a short TV clip in English. Take that first step. It's the most important one. If this video helped you, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. By subscribing, you'll get more tips and lessons to help you on your journey. And if you know someone who's also learning English, share this video with them. Together, we can create a community of learners who inspire and support each other. Thank you for joining me today. I believe in you and your ability to learn English. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about making progress. So keep practicing, stay curious, and never stop learning. You've got this.